Is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's online class. My name is Christina Roque, and I am the Health Education's webinar coordinator. Today's webinar is Ask the Dietitian. Today's health educator is Vanessa Alardo. Vanessa is a registered dietitian who graduated from Loma Linda University with her master's in public health, and she currently works for Beaver Medical Group as a corporate health and wellness educator, as well as a registered dietitian. She has presented to many groups on a wide variety of health topics and will be presenting today's webinar. Welcome, Vanessa.
Thank you, Christina, for that wonderful introduction, and welcome everybody to today's online class. So today is actually going to be a little bit different than some of our previous classes. We have some questions that some of our Beaver patients submitted to us. We asked them what, burning questions that they had that we'd be able to answer. So we had some submissions, and we're going to go over those questions today. And then at the end of the discussions, we're going to have an open floor for you guys to be able to ask some of your own personal questions. So if something strikes you as I'm talking, just go ahead and write it down, and then you can go ahead and ask that question. You can use the chat bar to ask, and then Christina will then ask the question and I'll answer it. So it'll be a fun class. Hopefully you guys will learn a lot from some of the other questions that are going to be asked, and then hopefully I'll be able to answer some of your own. All right, so the first question comes from Jen. Jen is one of our patients here, and she submitted the question, what is the best protein to drink? So that's a really great question, and one that I get asked often from various patients that I see. But the best protein to drink really depends on you and your personal goals. So if you're looking to, let's say, lose weight, then you would use a different protein than if you were trying to gain muscle or even weight. Some individuals need to gain weight. I wish that was me, but it's not. So they would look for something like a weight gainer. So if you go to GNC or you go to a vitamin shop, even Walmart, you'll be able to see that all the different proteins have different labels on them, and then you just choose one depending on your personal goals. Typically, they'll have the label on the front say this is for weight loss. It won't say just in those words, but it'll say something like lean out or lean shake, something like that, so you know that it's for weight loss. Now, if you're looking to gain weight, usually it'll have on the label, it'll say weight gainer. If you want to get some more information before you go out and purchase your protein, you can go onto GNC's website. I actually went on there yesterday, and you can do the drop-down menu for the protein, and you'll see there that there's meal replacement shakes, there's also weight gainers, and then there's for weight loss. So you can just navigate through those as well to kind of get an idea of what the different brands are, the price points, things like that, and then also what they're utilized for. So again, it really just depends on what you're looking for based on what you're going to end up purchasing. So for instance, a meal replacement shake would be good if you're on the go and you're not able to have your lunch or your dinner instead of going to, let's say, a fast food restaurant like Denny's, or Denny's not fast food, but if you went to like Taco Bell or something like that. Instead, you could do a meal replacement shake like Garden of Life. It's a raw organic shake, and that would have about 250 to 300 calories to replace that meal that you weren't able to eat. Plus, it has a bunch of veggies or vitamins and minerals from that meal that you weren't able to eat. So again, it's a meal replacement shake, and it has protein as well. Now, let's say you want the weight gainer. That is going to have anywhere from 200 or more calories because, again, you're trying to gain muscle or gain weight, and it's also going to have around 30 grams of protein. Let's say you're diabetic and you're looking to manage your insulin or even to lose weight, then you could go for something like Premier Protein, which is one that I really enjoy drinking, and that has 160 calories, so it's very low in calories, and then it also has 30 grams of protein and 1 gram of sugar, which is fantastic for individuals who are trying to manage their blood sugars. So as you can see, there's lots of different brands, which can make it very overwhelming for individuals, but again, if you do a little research ahead of time into what your personal goals are, your lifestyle, whether you're trying to get a meal replacement or just a snack, then that'll be much more helpful for you to be able to navigate the store. All right, thanks for that question, Jen. The next question is, from Carl. So Carl asked, should I eat my veggies at the beginning or end of my meal? So Carl, again, this is a great question and one that I get asked often, so I'm really happy to answer this for you. So if you look at the plate right there, it has half of it as veggies, and that's for a reason, even though some of you may be intimidated by that amount of vegetables. It is important that you eat your veggies at the start of the meal. And the reason that you want to do that is because they have the most fiber, they have the least amount of calories, and they're going to fill you up more because they have more fiber. So even though some people might look at vegetables and think, how is that going to possibly fill me up? It's because of the added fiber in those vegetables that makes you fuller. Things like protein and carbohydrates will fill you up, but you might be tempted to eat more carbohydrates or even get a second spoonful of, let's say, mashed potatoes or sweet potatoes because they taste so good. You kind of want to get full on that first. Your mind thinks, I want more of this and not so much of the veggies. So you run the risk of not even eating your vegetables at all if you start with the protein or the carbohydrates. It takes about 20 minutes to get full, so keep that in mind. So as you're eating your veggies, especially because it takes longer to chew on those, you will get fuller faster than if you were to eat something like your complex carb first, because it's a lot easier to eat. And then again, you could run the risk of going for seconds and then eating more calories overall. So best bet is to try to eat your vegetables first. You can always cut them up and throw them in a casserole. You can mix them up in like a pico de gallo or something like that. Sometimes I like to do cut up veggies with some brown rice, and then I'll do, let's say, an egg on top of that. So that's a quick and easy meal. Or you can also throw in your vegetables into a shake in the morning to do a green smoothie, which is another option if you're running low on time. Okay, so thanks for that question, Carl. This question comes from John, and he asks, is it better to work out in the morning or the evening? So this is a wonderful question and one that I've done some research on myself because I was curious to see what would be the better option. And to be honest, there is no better choice. So it really is dependent on your personal preference. So I know you guys are hoping to hear what the magic answer is, but there really isn't one. Just really you want to choose what works for your lifestyle and your busy schedule. So if morning time, if you're a morning person and you can get up, let's say at 5 and you can get in a quick workout, then by all means do that. But if you're a night owl, you might want to do your evening workout. It's really when you have the most energy because then you're going to put in the most effort. So if you're not a morning person, trying to get in a morning workout might be kind of difficult and you may not get the best workout, especially because you won't have the energy. Some other benefits from working out in the morning are that you get it out of the way so that you don't have to do it in the evening time. Especially if you have a really tiresome job, if you're always on your feet, you may not want to work out right after. So getting it out in the morning could be more beneficial. Also, you rev your metabolism up in the morning. So once you start working out, your metabolism starts going and you're still burning calories 30 minutes after your meal. So keep that in mind, or 30 minutes after your workout. So if you have something to eat right after you work out, then you're still burning that. Then the other benefit of working out in the evening, oh, and one more benefit that I'm noticing here is that in the morning, if you work out, you're actually going to be starting off on the right track and you'll make better choices throughout the day and healthier choices because you already have that mindset of being healthy. So some benefits from working out in the evening are that research has shown that if you work out at night, you actually gain more muscle and you are able to better strength train in the evening. And then also your body's warmed up from the day. So if you're like me, I roll out of bed and I have a little bit of lower back pain from my mattress, but we're looking to switch that out. So it's kind of hard for me to just jump right onto my stationary bicycle. I have to warm up in the morning. So that takes another 10, 15 minutes. But in the evening, I'm already warmed up from the day, so I don't have as many aches and pains from the night's sleep. I can just go ahead and get on my bicycle or the treadmill and I'm fine. And I don't run that risk of tweaking something. So that's another benefit of working on the evening. So I hope that answer has helped you, John. And really just try and get an activity as much as you can. So don't worry too much about the morning and evening. Do it whenever you can. And the next question comes from Patty. Patty asked, should I eat something before or after my workout? So really you should, avoid all those delicious snacks that we see going into the gym. I know that me, myself, I'll see those good-looking cookies or granola bars or those high sugar drinks and I want to grab one because I'm hungry on the way to the gym, but that's absolutely not what you want to do. You want to wait until you're done with your workout to be able to have a snack. And the reason being is during your workout, you really want to target the stored fat that you have. You don't want to have a snack and then start utilizing the fuel that you just ate. So all those calories you just ingested, your body's just going to be working off those calories rather than the stored fat that you already have. And as I mentioned previously to the last question that John asked, you want to be able to utilize those last 30 minutes after post-workout to burn those calories that you're going to have for your snack. So again, you're burning calories still 30 minutes after you finish your exercise. So in that amount of time, you can have a snack and you'll burn that as well as whatever fat storage you burn during your workout. So try and have a healthy snack, something like a cheese stick with a small apple. You can do a hard-boiled egg with some almonds. You can also do like a green smoothie. There's those shaker bottles that you can buy at any food store, which have the little metal ball inside, and you can do a protein shake from the proteins that we talked about. And I forgot to mention about the protein shakes. If you are vegan or vegetarian, there are options for those individuals as well. And one that I like that I've tried is called Vegga. It's VEGA, Vegga protein, and that one is completely vegan. So there are options for everybody. Again, I hope that answered your question, Patty. Try and get that snack in right after your workout, and you can have it handy by having them already pre-packaged. Okay, so this question comes from Anthony. Would you recommend specific diets like the paleo diet, ketogenic diet, or the vegan diet? So this is a very loaded question and one that I'm going to try and break down in as few words as possible. So I don't want to go into too much detail since there's a lot going on in this question, but I will touch on what the different diets are as well as who would benefit from those. And then if you want to seek more advice, you can always meet with a dietitian and she can help you or he can help you go over what diet would work for you and how to navigate that diet. So the paleo diet is basically, it's essentially a diet that is high in protein, high in nuts, higher in fat, and then lower in carbohydrates. So this is a diet that a lot of individuals who do strength training or like to build muscle use because of the amount of protein that is involved in this diet. But this diet should only be done if somebody's going to be doing it consistently and for a long amount or a long-term time, meaning for their life. And a lot of times I don't like the word diet because it means that it's going to be done for a month, 2 months, 3 months until that person loses weight, and then they're going to go back to eating the way that they used to eat. So really what you should be doing is learning a new lifestyle. So if you think the paleo diet is completely fantastic, because it actually has a lot of health benefits, it is lower in some carbohydrates that could, be stored as fat. It's also higher in nuts, which are good and healthy fats. So it is a good diet, but you should say the paleo lifestyle. So if this is something you want to do for life, then by all means go ahead and do that, and you will see the added benefits of it. But if you do decide that it's not for you and you stop doing it, you run the risk of then gaining excess weight because your body was accustomed to the paleo diet and now you're starting to eat those carbohydrates again that are going to be stored as fat. So keep that in mind. The ketogenic diet is very low in carbohydrates and it's also higher in fats. So this diet has been more recognized recently by diabetics and individuals who are struggling with their insulin. So this again is a beneficial diet only if you do it for your lifetime. But if you only plan to do it for a short amount of time, it really isn't going to be beneficial for you because again, it is so low in carbohydrates that when you start eating those carbohydrates again, you run the risk of gaining excess weight. But it actually can help to improve your insulin if done correctly and under the supervision of maybe a healthcare professional or a dietitian, because it can be somewhat dangerous to go so low in carbohydrates, and then also if you're taking insulin, there can be some complications there. So please, talk to your doctor or to a dietitian about the ketogenic diet. But again, it can have some health benefits as long as it's done long-term and not short-term. And then the vegan lifestyle is completely eliminating all animal products. So this again has been found to be helpful for individuals who are looking to prevent cancer risk, prevent different lifestyle diseases, and then also to lose weight because you are eliminating a lot of those fats and saturated fats. With the vegan lifestyle, again, it's a lifestyle. It's not a diet. You're not going to do it for a short amount of time. And it is difficult. All of these diets are difficult in their own way because you're eliminating a lot of things that we naturally or normally eat, and you're having to navigate things a lot more and be more strict with your diet. So if you are thinking about it and it's something that's you've been on your mind for a while, try the vegetarian approach first, or even a couple of nights where you go meatless Monday or Tuesday and Wednesday, and see how that works for you. If you feel like you can do it and you've got a grasp on it, then you can go ahead and start eliminating maybe butter and then cheese. But go at it slowly because it can be really hard to do the vegan lifestyle. You have to eliminate a lot of foods. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. It really depends on your personal goals on which one you're going to choose. And again, it's all about longevity and making sure that you're committed to that lifestyle. The last question comes from Charles. He asks, what's the best nutrition and fitness apps to use? So I love this question because I love apps and I use them quite often. I'm going to let you know about 4 of my personal favorite apps. So the first 2 are nutrition related. The first one that I really enjoy is my Food app. So if I'm running out of time and I'm going through the food aisles at the store, I'll actually use this app because it scans barcodes and then it gives a food a certain grade. So from A to D, it'll tell me whether they believe that food is healthy or not healthy. So if it gets an A, then it'll tell me why it gave it that food grade so that I'm not having to necessarily read the entire nutrition label. I can just quickly scan the barcode and then get a grade for that food item, as well as an explanation. It also gives me alternatives. So if it gave something a C or a D, it will give me a better alternative for some, like a bread or let's say waffles or something like that. The second app I really like that's nutrition related is the water app that I use. So with this one, you can actually download any water reminder app. It doesn't have to be a specific one. And you can set it to remind you, let's say every 30 minutes or every hour to get up and get a drink of water, because I know that oftentimes I go for my coffee more often than my water cup, but this kind of gives me a gentle reminder to keep drinking water throughout the day. If you have a fitness watch or an Apple Watch, you can set it so that it'll make your wrist buzz, and that way you're not always having to check your phone. One of my favorite fitness apps is Sworkit. Sworkit is awesome because it helps you to work out with whatever time you have. So even if you only have a minute, it'll create a short 1-minute workout for you, incorporating some of your major muscle groups so that you don't have to really think about what you need to do. Because a lot of times it's frustrating to have to think about what muscle group I'm going to work that day, or with minimal amount of time. Maybe you say you have 5 minutes. You don't want to spend those 5 minutes trying to think of what you're going to do. So Sworkit is awesome for that. It also is great if you travel a lot for work and you don't have a gym, near you that you can go to. You can actually just use your hotel room and then just use the app to be able to create some workouts. The second app I like is really fun, and I've used it more often before than now, but it's called Zombie Run. And I love all things scary, so it's one of my favorites. But basically, it simulates that zombies running after you or chasing you, and you can hear it in your ear, so it makes you want to run faster. And if you do it at night, you actually will get pretty scared and want to run more. So it's a fun app. There's an app for everybody out there. Just go ahead and go into your app store and see what different ones they have for nutrition and fitness, and find one that works for you and your lifestyle. All right, so now I am going to go ahead and open the floor for questions that you guys might have. So does anybody have a question that they'd like to ask? And I'll have Christina check that. And if we don't, we can go ahead and just wrap up the webinar. All right, so it looks like we don't have any questions at the moment. If you feel more comfortable emailing them to me, or maybe they come up to you later, you can always email me at valardo, that's VALARDO, at epiclp.com, and then I'll go ahead and email you back a response. So I hope that you enjoyed today's webinar. Thank you so much for attending.